money, my house and my car. You can have it all, baby, 'cause I'm an addict of you, and you got me. Anyway, this is about you overzealous creatures of habit, you thirsty men. What's up, writing blogger? This is about you thirsty men and you creatures of habit that mess it up for the regular ones out there. Just trying to have a regular relationship. Just trying to find love and just have regular dates and do regular things and, not have to compete with folks that's willing to give up their house and their car, spend all their money, do a lot of thirsty things. You know what I mean? What do I mean by thirsty men? I mean, I'm talking about men so desperate that they're willing to sell their soul for, a piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you do what you do, but you kind of mess it up for the regular folk out there. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sell my soul so I could get with a female and do what I do. But you have those thirsty men out there. Let me take a drink for them. You thirsty men. You know who you are. You thirsty souls out there. So desperate that you'll walk away from a good thing just to get a little piece of, some lust, some flashy things, some PYT, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're out there, you know what I'm saying? I've been meaning to address this for a while. I had to wait. I remember I spoke to one female one time, and she told me that men are weak. Men are easily manipulated, easily moved by sex. And there's a lot of us out there that are like that. There are a lot of thirsty men. There are a lot of overzealous creatures of habit. And some people may not want to hear this. Some people may not like this. There's some thirsty men that don't like to hear this. There's some, manipulative women out there that don't want to hear stuff like this. But I say to you folks out there, you know what I'm saying, you thirsty men, you know what I'm saying, you make it bad for the man out there, like I said, who's just out there trying to do his thing. But then actually you kind of do us a favor at times, you thirsty individuals out there. You know who you are. You do us a favor sometimes because you reveal to us, the manipulative women out there, the manipulative situations. And, there are thirsty women as well on the other side. And then, be it if you're gay or straight, there's folks that are thirsty. I shouldn't even call this thirsty men. I should have said thirsty people. Just those people who are, willing to give, more of themselves than they possibly should just to get some love or just to get attention, just to get affection, putting themselves out there, making themselves look real crazy, just because, I guess that's the prerequisite, or you don't want to work for it. You don't want to do the courtship thing, Nowadays, people don't really care for courtship, as I have zero in the chat. But it's all good. I appreciate it. Like I said, nobody wants to hear about it. But like I said, the thirst is real. Like I said, all I can say to thirsty men out there is you don't have to be so thirsty. You don't have to, spend a whole bunch of money. You don't have to, appeal to a woman in a way where, you have to basically, give of yourself and have materialistic things to get with somebody. Just be yourself. If the woman don't like you, for you being yourself, then that's probably not the one for you. But obviously, I'm saying, an overzealous man, those overzealous creature habit, a thirsty man will still, try to offer money, gifts, things like that. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's saying 0 in my chat, but I appreciate the 2 people for the thumbs up. I don't know what YouTube is doing. But, yeah, like I said, I say for the men out there, you don't have to sell your soul to be with a woman, I mean, a woman, or, a real woman that loves you and cares for you for who you are. If you have a woman that wants you to, pay their rent or buy them cars or buy them nice things, and that's the only way they'll be with you, then, newsflash, as my mother used to say, they don't really want you for you. They want you for the things that you can provide. And it goes on the other side for females, as far as, how that goes. If a man only wants you for your body or for what you can do for them, then that makes you, I guess a foolish, thirsty female, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, thank you, Marcy. It's a situation of understanding that, look, you got to value yourself if you care. If you care, you look in the mirror and you say, what am I worth? I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm too sexy for the shirt. But on a serious note, it's like, sometimes you have to be your own best friend. Sometimes you have to love you for you, and just understand that you're special in your own way. That you're not determined or made strong or made beautiful or made unique by somebody else. A lot of times in society, it's seen that we have to have certain status, or we have to be with a certain type of person, or just being with somebody at all, would just make us more attractive. Like I said, I don't know if any of you heard the saying that more people want you when you're with somebody. My thing is this: when I'm with somebody, you don't have to want me. It's too late then. And I hate when that happens. Like for me right now, I'm single, so it's not a lot of females that's really, thinking about me, or at least not that I know of. But the moment I'm with somebody, or I'm visible, with a certain type of female, either a few things is gonna happen. They're gonna start tearing the female apart and looking at her like, oh, she's a piece of trash and she's not on my level and blah blah blah. Or they'll come at me and just try to side cut her and undercut her and say, what, come swing an episode with me. But that's a whole other compartment of that. We're talking about cheating and stuff like that. That's another live stream for another time. I might do a live stream about cheating and stuff like that. But I'm really just talking about the thirsty men. I'm talking about the people who don't want to work for it. Sometimes you just want to put yourself out there and say, okay, because I have resources, and because I have just desperation in my eyes and lust in my heart, that should be enough to get that particular female. The problem with being thirsty, the problem with being overzealous, is that once your resources run out, once you become useless, or once you become, I guess, irrelevant to that particular person that you're chasing after, then, they push you to the side next, because there's always a thirsty man out there. There's always a silly woman out there. There's always somebody out there who's putting themselves out there. A sucker is born every minute, as they say. There's always that individual out there, that you can find. But the person who is right for you, that person isn't always around. That person, comes around maybe once every so often. And I tell those thirsty people out there, specifically those thirsty men, it's like an old timer told me, the last thing you want to do is to be chasing behind a scandalous female, right? And you're with the scandalous female over here, right, on one side of the street, and the one that you're supposed to be with is over there looking at you saying, wow, I want to talk to him, but I can't because he's over there with her. That's the last thing you want to happen. And I thought about that for a second. I thought about that. I was like, that's real. That's real. Just imagine you're over there chasing behind these scandalous females and these crazy situations, and being all thirsty and going after the sex and the lust and the good time, and then the one that you're really supposed to be with is across the street. Now, don't get me wrong. If this is what you want, if you want to be thirsty, I'll take a drink for you. Then you can be thirsty. If you want to go after it, if you want to spend your money, you want to spend your time, your energy, and your resources just chasing a fantasy, just chasing a dream, then you can. Vanity of vanity. All is vanity. You can chase after that. Who am I to tell you you can't? But this is to say that if you don't want to chase after the vanity, if you do want a real one, if you do want to, not be so thirsty, it's possible. A lot of times we have to remove ourselves from those particular situations, which is hard sometimes, because when you have some money in your pocket, it's very easy to get you somebody to, to lay with, for the night. So it's very easy to get you somebody to be with. Like I said, even me, I'm not the most attractive guy in the world, but if I wanted to get a date tonight, all I have to do is just stack the bread up. I didn't even have to try. I could stack the bread up and I could find me a date tonight. I could find me a date right now. But here's the problem. When I start paying for certain things and start presenting myself in a certain way, as to say, okay, you know what, I'm willing to just, fork over the bread. I'm just willing to fork over the resources. Soon as the money runs out, you know, that's when things dry up. Like, I'll tell you a story right quick. I had an uncle Yvonne, many years ago, before my time, at least as the legend goes. Uncle Yvonne. I don't know why they named him Yvonne, but whatever. The guy came into like $600,000. I think this was like in the 70s, or this is like in the 60s or 70s or something like that. And $600,000 was a lot of money back in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, this is as legend goes. And Uncle Yvonne, this man used to have parties and women and all kind of friends and all kind of people around. And like I said, $600,000, you think you're rich, you think you're on top of the world. But it's like they said, a funny thing happened. As the money started to dwindle down, Uncle Yvonne, as he was known, whatever his name was, I don't know what his nickname was, he started to see that the friends and the women and all these other folks started to disappear. Why do I take all the time to say all that? Because for the thirsty men, out there, the ones that, are these overzealous creatures of habit, the ones that, present themselves, in a way where they're willing to give of themselves just to be with the woman. A female can identify this. If a woman needs her rent paid, she'll just target you and single you out. Rent gets paid, bills get paid, you get a baby taken care of, or get her shoes done, or sometimes she's bored, or like I said, you just need somebody to talk to. You can spend all your money, you can do all kind of crazy stuff, and don't even get close to what you want. You just thirsty. You're just there because you're trying to get close to and get next to the person. So you have to be careful, because once you outlive your usefulness, then you just get replaced by the next one, and then the next one. And I say to the men out there, have some dignity about yourself. Don't be a sapsucker. Don't be a silly individual. But like I said, to each his own. We live in a free country. Maybe even not a free world. If you want to be thirsty, if you want to be out there, if you want to be selling your soul just to get next to something that ain't real, then have at it. Because a lot of times when you're in a situation where you have to give up your resources, where you have to give up your time, or you have to give of yourself, and you're not really getting anything in return, that's a bad situation. Like I said, I say thirsty, but the reason I say thirsty is because, like I said, no matter how much, of this thing that you appear to get, it's like I give you the cup, and in the cup, there's something to drink, but what I'm giving you to drink is not satisfying you. So you're constantly thirsty, and you're constantly getting more. You're constantly getting more. It's like you're having a sugary drink, and you're constantly thirsty, but you're saying, man, I'm drinking this big cup, a lust, or this desire, or this pie, or whatever it is that person is offering you, but it's never enough. So you're constantly giving more. You're constantly going in your pocket. You're constantly giving of your time. You're constantly giving of yourself until you don't recognize yourself. And that's the problem about being thirsty. You can become a shell of a man. You can become an empty soul. You can become somebody lost, wandering, and forgetting your way, because you're so busy chasing behind this dream, this fantasy, this female or this situation, that ain't real. Like I said, maybe the only thing that's real about it is the sex, and that's a problem, Marcy said, "This is why I'm thankful God, 22 years of marriage." Exactly. Well, I'm thankful to God that your husband has 22 years of marriage with you, somebody that really cares, and that's a beautiful thing. Like I said, I say to those people out there that really, 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 really want that 22-year marriage or that beautiful relationship, whatever it is, that is possible, but that takes work. It takes work on the part of you as the individual. It takes work to get yourself ready for that particular person that you should be with. A lot of us don't. We don't get ourselves ready. We settle. We become thirsty. We become desperate. Like for me, I'm 37. I could easily become desperate. I could easily start spending money and, start trying to do things, to, attract a certain type of female. But the problem with that is, once I attract that certain female based on those superficial things, once they get to see the inner me or the deeper stuff about me, that may become a problem. Because what if we don't match up with politics? What if we don't match up with religion and so on and so forth? Yeah, no, you have to continue to work, Marcy. And I think a lot of people don't continue to work on themselves until they're ready for that particular person. I remember there was a preacher that said one time, they said it takes time to get the best ready for you, but you also have to get ready for the best, and if you're not ready, then guess what? You kind of, I like to say, you get those other ones. Instead of getting the one that you should be with, you're dealing with the other one. And a lot of us find ourselves dealing with the other one. And that's when, we become, thirsty and desperate and stuff like that. You're only going to find a lot of times the other one when you begin to become desperate, when you begin to settle, when you begin to say, you know what, maybe it's all right if I'm the third boyfriend. Maybe it's okay if, she has a drug habit and I'm not really into that, and I want to, I just want to be with her because I don't want to be alone. Or maybe, on the flip side, it's okay, to be in your abusive relationship because I don't want to be alone. But, sometimes, it happens, but sometimes that also comes with us, becoming desperate, becoming thirsty, not understanding and valuing ourselves and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not trying to shame anybody or victimize anybody, for doing that. We all have our own struggles, but the thing is, you don't have to struggle and you don't have to be thirsty, but it does take a withdrawal. It does take a willingness to see yourself and value yourself. And I speak to the men when I say this. I mean, there's a lot of men out there, who do things that I look at and I shake my head, especially you younger ones out there. Like I said, you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to, be so pure and, and get all religious on folks or anything like that. But there's a way to conduct yourselves as a man with some dignity, Like I said, have some, I don't want to say have some pride, but have some dignity about yourself. Because I see men doing thirsty things, sending, sexual pics towards somebody, and you know what they are, and just putting yourself out there in real thirsty ways, what I'm saying, with Instagram posts and, Twitter feeds and stuff like that. If a woman says no, or if a woman doesn't want to be bothered, leave it alone. Shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. But you got some guys that are so thirsty, so zealous, that if a woman says no, you begging. Why? Like, why are you begging? I mean, what's going on, Molly Dolly? I say to a man, like I said, if a woman doesn't want to be bothered with you, just let it be. What I'm saying? Don't offer yourself up. Don't sacrifice your soul, yourself, just to be with somebody. And I've seen men do it. I've seen a woman who may not really care for a guy who really doesn't want to deal with them. But then when they find out what they can get from them, all of a sudden you say, well, maybe I can use this individual. I don't really care for him. I'm not going to have kids for him. I'm not going to marry him. But since they insist on giving me money, since they are offering to buy me a car, since they are saying that they're going to buy me a house, I might as well. Now, there are a lot of independent women out there, so I'm not trying to knock them for that. But I'm not talking about the independent women out there. What's up, Harry Fessler? I'm not talking about the independent women out there who are doing their thing. To you, I say, kudos. Keep doing what you do. I love a strong woman. I always appreciate a strong woman. Like I said, if you're out there, we can link up. But I'm talking about, those women that are manipulative, the ones that, can get scandalous, and will take advantage of a thirsty man. You know who you are. We're not gonna try to call you out, but like I said, you know who you are. Like I said, you out there, and I expect a thumbs down or two, if that is gonna come, But the reality is they identify a weakness in a man. They identify a lack of confidence or self-esteem. They see a sense of purpose that's missing from you, and they're looking at you like, okay, so you're trying to find them to fill the void. And you can do that. But like I said, to all those thirsty men out there who are wasting their time chasing behind, women or other men, whether you gay or straight, you're wasting your time, because the one that's for you is not going to expect things from you, you know, that are other than you. And that's the problem sometimes. You have men, out there just really like changing their whole character. What's going on, Harry? I seen you out there. I seen you came through. You have men out there changing their whole character just to chase after, a dream, a fantasy, a particular type of woman or a particular situation. Sometimes you have thirsty men who are in marriages, who will cheat on their wives and leave their family, behind just to go after some female who could care less about them. And that's, like I said, that goes into the cheating aspect of it. But there are people who are willing to do that. You can be a thirsty man and find yourself in a situation where you're so thirsty that you're not really, vetting the process, and you wind up dealing with a woman who's, dealing with a whole bunch of other thirsty men. You could wind up catching a disease. You can wind up catching a case. You can wind up catching yourself in a whole bunch of trouble just because you're not taking the time out to gather yourself and figure out who you are. Yeah, a predator. Exactly, Molly Dolly. Those things are out there. But like I said, it comes down to you understanding you, as a man or individual, female or whatnot. Like I said, do you value yourself? Are you somebody who's content with who you are outside of a particular relationship? Because I think these things happen is because people don't know themselves. They don't know their own worth, or they don't know what they should be with or who they should be with in any particular situation. And we settle. Being a thirsty man, and chasing after any old thing and sleeping with anything and shagging this or shagging that, comes from not valuing yourself, not believing in yourself that you can have that particular person, that special someone out there for you. It's possible, but it takes work. And, sadly, nowadays, a lot of people, a lot of men, even, women and whatnot, don't want to work for it because it's so easy to manipulate another weak person. But then now you have a relationship with two weak people, and two weak people can't hold each other up. So what happened when it falls? Now you're looking for another weak person, and it's on both sides. It's on the manipulative woman who is weak, and the thirsty man who is weak. When they get tired of each other, one throws each other to the side and looks for another thirsty man. Or the thirsty man gets tired, if they ever get tired, and then looks for another manipulative woman. And then you just constantly go in this destructive cycle. So the thing is to try to break the cycle. And like I said, you break the cycle by taking time away, if you have to, you get out of one bad relationship, and learning yourself, taking time out to learn who you are and knowing what makes you special and what makes you unique and what puts you in a position to win, just as yourself, as a human being, as a man or a woman or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times we don't take stock, because why I even take the time to do a video like this, because I see men and women alike who go from one negative relationship or one destructive relationship to the next. I've seen women who get out of a relationship, bad relationships, I'm talking about with abuse, I'm talking about prison sentences, I'm talking about diseases, unwanted pregnancies, abortions, and then they'll go to the next relationship like it means nothing. And I'm looking and I'm saying, wow, like that's amazing. It's just, you don't take time to recover, you don't take time to heal, you don't take time to just get yourself together. Sometimes some people just don't want to be alone, and that's a whole other live stream in itself. But what comes of that is that people become desperate. And then sometimes when people get older or people are pressured by society, they're told that they have to have certain things. Sometimes people don't learn self-control, how to control their emotions, how to control their desires. So, yeah, Molly Dolly, you learn to love your own company. And then if that other person who loves their own company comes together and you click and you basically could see eye to eye with each other, then that's, a situation that you could definitely, get into. And too often, and a lot of times, in relationships in life, you don't have a lot of people who get together that could see eye to eye, that could be heart to heart, soul to soul, that could speak to each other on an equal playing field. Be it you man to man, woman to woman, woman to man, whatever it is. There's a lot of people who can't relate to each other on a regular level. and really understand each other, their flaws, their imperfections, their good traits, you know getting a chance to see the whole person, and a lot of times we settle for an appearance of a perfect relationship. We settle for an appearance of something that's real, when we're just getting, like the old movie said, an imitation of life. You're getting the imitation, you're getting the facade, you're getting the mirage, an illusion of a relationship. And that's what a lot of thirsty men settle for. They settle for an illusion of a relationship. And sometimes, as a thirsty man, you know that it's not real, but you rather have the falseness, you rather have the fakeness than to have nothing at all. It's a song, I guess, that Diddy did years ago with was it Mario Winans? It's like, I don't wanna know if you playing me, keep it on the low. But sometimes people don't want to know. My wife is very lucky to have you. Exactly, Harry Fessler. But the reality is, I imagine, Harry, I don't know you that well, but hey, what's up, J Town? I don't know you that well. I know you well enough though to know that, hey, what's up, Warnock? That it took you some time to get to being the man that you are before you met your wife. You probably had a lot of stuff that you went through and was going through, in order to become, that individual that got with your wife, got married, and you have a beautiful family, and you're a good father, a great father. Like I said, it is what it is. But like I said, I speak to the, hell yeah. But it's like that. Some of us, we go through our struggles. But I speak to those desperate men, those thirsty men out there. You don't have to do that, man. You don't have to, be out there half naked. You don't have to be sending the sex pics, to the females and harassing these females. Like I said, you don't have to do it. And the reason I say it makes a lot of us other men look bad, especially men that look like me out there, putting themselves out there in all kind of ways, spending money and, being thirsty for it. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to pay for it and you just want to get your little rendezvous on, that's up to you. What's going on, Eagle VP? Long time no see. Shout out to Eagle VP from the UK. Awesome channel. Go check him out. Go check him out. Go check him out. Yeah, but like I said, for the thirsty men out there, you had a dog named Dave. That's interesting. For the thirsty men out there, you do make it bad for the rest of us out there. The rest of us folks that are just trying to find regular relationships. Like I said, though, the thing I don't like is I don't want a woman approaching me, and I've had this happen before, because she's met a man that may have looked like me, who was thirsty, who was overzealous, who was a creature of habit, that was weak, that couldn't control his lust. And they think because that man looks like me, or I look like that man, that I'm going to go for that particular situation. And my thing is, to anybody out there that may look like me, that may sound like me, that may act like me, we're not the same. Stop it. I don't want women coming up to me thinking that they're gonna get a score. But on a serious note, it is about you valuing yourself. When you don't value yourself, when you lack that confidence in you, and I'm sorry for those people that left the chat or that. Like I said, it is what it is. For those people out there who don't value themselves and have confidence in themselves, you become a target, you become a mark. Even when you think like you have the upper hand, and you letting them know how you get down, and like I said, you think it's okay to be overzealous. What type of lady am I looking for? Eagle VP, I'm looking for a strong woman, a woman who is, into art, a woman, who can understand me, somebody who's, believes in God, can understand politics, a cultured woman, somebody who's into city life, but could always also be on the countryside, just a real down-to-earth type of woman, Mel hit his first million. Wow, that's funny. You're funny, Harry. I'm just looking for a real down-to-earth woman, a woman that could be real, not somebody who's perfect. To answer your question, Eagle VP, a woman who can love me for me. A woman I can love for her being who she is. Just somebody, who's really, like I said, just somebody who's easy to talk to, somebody who's not judgmental, somebody who, is going to hold me accountable, when I slip up or I do something stupid, that's just gonna, you know, be somebody that I could see eye to eye, that could move heart to heart with. You say that soulmate, but that takes time, that takes work, because as an individual, as a person, as a man, I have to become, worth that type of female's time and attention. I have to become that man who's able to be the provider, who's able to be the protector, who's able to be the partner, who's able to appreciate that woman if she wants to do things independently and have her own life as well as being a part of a family. Those are just my thoughts on that. But that takes work, and it doesn't come by me being thirsty. It doesn't come by me, spending a whole bunch of money and doing a whole bunch of flashy things and taking her out and buying clothes and taking her on trips. Thank you, Eagle VP. But that's just what I think about it. And all too often I'll see men who are just trying to buy a woman's heart. And nowadays I'll say to you men out there, you gotta understand that a lot of these women out there are very independent, very strong. They're very capable of doing those things on their own. So being thirsty, doesn't help. What's up, Drone Worship? Flat. Okay, I don't. Oh yeah, you're funny. You're funny. Flat. Oh, round. Okay. The simple things in life or God's creation. Definitely. I was wondering what you were talking about, Drone Worship. I was like, he said flat. I'm like, who said flat? It's round though. But I got you. Yeah, but that's where I'm at with that, Eagle VP. I just say, hey, there's too many men out there that are putting themselves out there in crazy ways like that, doing unnecessary stuff, just to try to find love, looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in all the wrong ways. Have some pride in yourself, have some dignity about yourself, pick yourself up, clean yourself up. Don't be so desperate, just to be with somebody. Unless you're a desperate man, unless you're a thirsty man, and that's just what you have in your heart. I could buy you oranges. Well, Molly Dolly, just tell me where to send the oranges. I just seen Queen of the Ladies. I want to break free and they come flocking. Yeah. Well, hey, listen, it happens. Woo! Yeah, just let me know where to send the oranges, Molly Dolly. But for the most part, that's just really what it is. I mean, as I postulated on the subject, hopefully I said something in this conversation that was worthwhile. Hopefully I said something to make you think. I didn't want to be offensive towards anybody, but if I offended you, there was probably a reason that I did, but I tried to come from a place of truth, of honesty, like I try to do in all my conversations. There will be a diverse topical range of things that I talk about. I just popped in. So far we discussed simple things: thirsty men, oranges, earthy and flat. Someone called Ric Flair. Yeah, Drone Worship. Yeah, Drone Worship. It is what it is. Woo! I didn't see what you say, Eagle. Have you met anyone you really like on YouTube? Yeah. I'm not on YouTube for that, Eagle VP, but I appreciate. Woo! I mean, there's probably women out there on YouTube or any place, that are there. Who knows? Like I said, but I'm really on YouTube. DW, of course, funny. I'm really on here just to create and meet people, as far as just the creative exchange of dealing with other creators, and out there really just trying to voice my opinion on things or talk about stuff, or just be an influencer in positive ways and things like that, and just entertain and be creative. I'm not really on YouTube looking for love. Like I said, if somebody want to love on Mel through the live stream, or find me through the chat, in on YouTube for the oranges. That's funny, Molly Dolly. Like I said, I'm not on YouTube looking for love. Maybe that's something I should talk about too. If you're on YouTube looking for love, you got another thing coming, because love ain't coming for you. Nah, but seriously though, what's love got to do with it? Yeah, Drone Worship. What's love got to do with it? When you trying to monetize your channel, you know what I'm saying? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Oh my God, what's love got to do with it, man? Whew. Yeah, what is love? What is love? Oh my God. Like I said, so many interesting topics came up in this thing. So many like future topics that I could talk about, from you in the comments section. Oh man, y'all making me think some thoughts. You're making me think some thoughts. Like I said, for the sake of this conversation, it's just about thirsty men. It's just about, overzealous creatures of habit that put themselves out there when they don't have to. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Uh-oh, baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. You think I don't know this? I know some of those songs. We can talk about Chuck Norris. The choice is yours. Well, people, I probably would get a pop if I talked about Chuck Norris. The problem about talking about Chuck Norris is that when you talk about Chuck Norris, you got to be careful. People are very defensive of Chuck Norris. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you say something wrong about Chuck Norris, you have some people come at your head, But yeah, I know the songs, Harry. Like I said, what's the other one? Do you really wanna hurt me? Do you really wanna make me cry? Anyway, but yeah, there's that. I mean, I just watched him sneeze in the car and it totaled it. Yeah, pick a fight. Yeah, I know the Chuck Norris jokes. There's a whole bunch of Chuck Norris jokes. I don't know if you heard, he supposedly quit acting. I forgot the reason he quit acting. I don't know why, but that's allegedly what they said. Maybe Chuck Norris quit acting because the acting became too easy. There you go, Boy George. Do you really wanna hurt me? Do you really wanna make me cry? Ooh. There you go. I don't know. But that's what that is. That's really what that is. I don't know. This has been a cool conversation. Like, it's these unexpected conversations. I wasn't even really going to talk about this because it could be offensive to some people out there. Serenade us with some lovely Marvin Gaye. What is it? You want sexual healing, or you want what's going on? Which one you want? From Marvin Gaye. I don't know. Man, I don't even know sexual healing though. My choice. Okay, I got one for you. I got one. Some old Marvin Gaye. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. Oh, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. See, that's what you thirsty men need. You need the real thing. And when I get that sexual feeling, like I said, oh baby, makes it so fine. Woo! That's what I'm saying. Oh man, I need some sexual healing. Let me stop talking about sexual healing. Like, oh my God, that's funny. That's I'm answering the phone screen. Yeah, I gotta be careful talking about sexual healing because, like I said, it might be some women. Oh man. Oh my God. I gotta be careful. You're funny, Dro. You're funny, Dro. Oh man, you gotta laugh at yourself too. Like I said, I'm not out there looking for any sexual healing. I'm not out there looking for some sexual healing. What is it? Is it Rock Truck Rob is in here? Shout out to you. I was singing if I missed you. We were in here doing what we do. I was in here acting foolish for a minute, Oh my God. But see, I'll say one thing that'll get a thirsty man over. We'll get a thirsty man over. If you can sing and you're a thirsty man, woo! If you can sing and you're a thirsty man, you'll get in a lot of situations that you have to fight your way out of. That is the exception. Because then they become thirsty for you. They're like, sing to me, Daddy. Sing it to me. And then they throwing stuff at you. Now that just becomes a sexual situation. But that's another thing. Yes, Rock Truck Rob, hello to you. Sorry I missed you. I was too busy singing Marvin Gaye for one of you, pass on the singing. Okay. Okay, Molly Dolly. But that was more for entertainment. Now many times in life I felt like this before. I swear the truth and I love it all. So yeah. I appreciate that, Harry Fessler. This whole YouTube community thing, man. It's been very inspirational and life-changing for a lot of us all, just meeting each other, seeing each other, singing to each other, entertaining each other. Molly Dolly loves my singing, but not in all seriousness. It's a special time in life. It's a special time on YouTube. Even though we go through the whole thing about the demonetization of the channels and all that stuff, who knows? I mean, hopefully as a community we can still come together. Even if we have to go to another platform, whatever the case may be, who knows? This is a special time. Like I said, I don't know if we'll ever have another time like this online. Well, we don't talk about the weird around here. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, Drone. It is what it is. Just being real. Just being real. Like I said, I agree with you, Harry Fessler. It is a blessing. It is a good thing to know all of you, even if I only know you through the computer per se. It is a beautiful thing. Like I said, a lot of you are cool personalities. Woo! And bye to Eagle VP. We've gotten a little too sap happy for Eagle VP, but it's all good. And it's all good to Road King. Thank you for stopping by as well. Like I said, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to know you all. It's a pleasure to interact with some of you personally and stuff like that. And hopefully it continues. Regardless of whether or not folks get monetized or not monetized. There's a lot of people who are supportive in the community, and I encourage people who just like creating and just like being a part of the whole YouTube community. I encourage you to continue to do such a thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm grateful to all of you that come by, whether it's for a minute, whether it's for a couple of seconds, whether you're lurking in the background, whether you secretly are thirsty for Mel, I don't know, but that happens. So like I said, I'm just grateful to any time that you show up to the live streams, and forgive me if I don't show up to your live streams and your videos as much as I should, but I am there, and Road King is here too. But on that note, I think I really have to go because I think I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's just you, the community. You had me singing Marvin Gaye and Boy George and whatever else we were singing. I forgot what it was, Yeah, I love you back. Love you back, Harry Fessler. Awesome channel. I encourage people to support Harry Fessler. He's an up-and-comer. He's a very positive dude. Very beautiful family. He's a Jersey guy, just like him and Road King. Little Richard, goodness, crazy, great balls of fire. Let me stop. Funny. Yeah, there's that too. Did I sing the right one? Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. That Little Richard? I don't know. I'm not a big Little Richard fan, but he's very talented. Okay, January 29th for you. Or start back to zero. Watch time back to get 2,000 minutes. You can start making monetization after 1,000 subs. That's interesting. Drone worship. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, just Jerry Lee Lewis. You like to drink to a thirsty crowd. Yeah, I could drink to a thirsty crowd. See, yeah. I drink to a thirsty crowd. Now, I meant for February live streams. Now that meant nothing. Okay. What are you talking about, Drone Worship? Sorry, I meant February. All the live streams right now mean nothing. So January 20th, start back to zero to watch your watch time. We'll have to get 30 minutes before you can start making monetization. What are you talking about, Drone Worship? You talking about everything starts back to zero? So, because if you're talking about February, if everything starts back to zero February 20th, that's going to be a big thing. Wow. Everyone thinks that all the watch time they are piling up right now with their live streams is going to help February 29th. It'll start the year over. Well, if they start the year over, that's going to be a big problem. That's going to be a big problem for a lot of folks. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you too. If I got to start over from zero, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm gonna finish out my content, and hey, what's going on, Juice? If I have to start over from zero, nah. If I got to start over from zero, Drone Worship, this may be the last year you see me on YouTube. I don't know. I really don't know. Seriously, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'll write YouTube a letter. I'll thank everybody in the community, and I'll keep it moving. I'll keep it chucking. If you read the guidelines carefully, they state that at 28 days of February, your watch time goes back to zero. You have to prove to them your channel is worth once a year. Nah, if that's the case, like I said, I'll do my thing. Because I have content uploaded. Uh, you know what? I'll put out all the content that I have that I want to upload, right? Even if it goes until the next year or whatever the case may be, and then I would be out. I probably would be out, because it's not, at that point, it's not about monetization. At that point, it's a slap in the face. To say somebody that, your whole watch time is going to be reset to zero, and you reset somebody's watch time to zero, and they have to reprove themselves all over again. Like I said, I don't know about. My watch time, the numbers, the things that I've done, I worked for that. I'll say that, whether I'm paid or not. So, as a creator, as somebody who's put time in, that means something to me. You stick with Roke, you have fun, dude. That's funny. That's funny. Did you watch the Casey interview? Yeah. Okay. I gotta rewatch the interview. I gotta rewatch the interview then, because what he's saying, if he's saying that everything is gonna go back to zero, then I think a lot of people, they may try to stick around, but then what's the point? That's just to me. What's the point? If you're not already there, if you don't already have a built-in base, if you're not already doing it, eventually February 29th, your watch time resets to zero. Well, then I'm like I said, I'm not gonna. Nah, I get what YouTube is trying to do. I get what YouTube, because at that point, YouTube is literally just trying to weed out the people, because that means if you don't hit it by February 20th, yeah, wait, everyone's channel will start. No, Juice, that's not everybody. YouTube, everybody's channel, everybody's time doesn't set to zero. What happens is, if you didn't meet the guidelines, then your time sets back to zero, because they want you to earn all the monetization, or the 240,000 minutes, which that's just crazy. What's going on, Cargo? Appreciate you for coming by. But yeah, Drone, I have to rewatch the interview and whatnot. But if that's the case, then my time is coming to a close, which is fine, because I'm at peace with not being on YouTube. I'm at peace with moving on. I'm really at peace with that. I'm really at peace with just going on to do other things. Like I said, it's a great community, and I'll stay in touch with a lot of people. I have no problem, moving on my way, because I'm not gonna get 240,000 hours or be close to it, and then you tell me I have to go back to zero and then do it all over again. Because then what happens if I get the 240,000 hours or 40,000 minutes? They're starting to get the first numbers in now. Apparently 25 million people, watchers and creators already have walked away. Well, yeah, I mean, well, it comes down to it. It really comes down to it. It's like, it's a slap in the face. It's like you work for 2 weeks and you're expecting your check, and then you come in to get your check after the 2 weeks, and they're saying, well, no, in order to get those 2 weeks that you've earned already, you got to start again. So you got to work 4 weeks to get a 2-week check, and then you may not get all that you earned in those 4 weeks from that original 2 weeks that you worked. So you kind of going back and forth. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm here for fun as well too, but the reality of it, Cargo, is it's, to me, it's a principle of it all too. Because like I said, I haven't been paid, but at the same time, if you're telling me that my watch time or the impact that I've had, is irrelevant, it's zero now. Now you're just saying, okay, it's time to move on. To me, it's like, so like I said, I'm gonna wait to see what they do. But the reality is, if YouTube takes that step, then I think I may be with those people that actually say, you know what, I'm out too. And that's just me personally. I say to any of you, if you like YouTube, if this is what works for you, if this is how you get down and you want to do your thing, then on here and have fun and just make your money or do whatever it is you do, then kudos to you. But for me, I value principle I value the impact that I put. I started moving on my comment over to other platforms, and now Twitch live streaming. Don't trust. Yeah, and that's the problem. Drone worship. How do you trust YouTube after this? Yeah. Well, listen, Cargo. I'm sorry, but if I have to go to Facebook, which I don't want to, then that's just where I would have to go. I would just upload this type of content and stuff that I'm doing on Facebook, and I would just put a high quality content. I would go after sponsors and doing stuff, just grind out real hard, because it's kind of sad, actually. I'm kind of sad. Yeah, it's so much harder to make it on Facebook. Well, if it is harder to make it on Facebook, then whatever the case may be, wherever Mel makes sense for Mel to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's about trust. I only have 6 months vested in, and watch the twist looks interesting. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. This whole thing. I mean, and I get it. Facebook, the only way Facebook would take off is if you're doing Instagram tweets and stuff like that. Well, I'm on Twitter. I mean, if I'm not on YouTube, then I have more time to focus on Twitter and whatnot. If I and it's sad. It's really sad. I like YouTube. I mean, I don't want to have to imagine a day where I'm not on YouTube anymore. But it's hard to trust YouTube. It's really hard to trust them and in the direction that they're going in. Yeah. Not to depress anybody, but like I said, maybe I need to watch that Casey interview all the way through over again. Because I've put in a lot of time. Other people have put in a lot of time. But it's nothing for me to move on. I mean, and the funny thing is, I've been thinking about that from the end of last year to really, I feel bad for all you guys, because unfortunately I do meet the 11% of the YouTubers that get paid monthly. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not about feeling bad. That's why I jumped to stream to stream, and it shows much. Listen, I say it like this. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me if I don't get the monetization and stuff like that. I mean, realistically, I work on a regular basis, so I have money that I make, personally. But, as far as the principle of it all, if you're not going to treat folks fair and you're going to look towards the top tier people, I mean, I have no problem leaving YouTube, because, social media is not my life. This is not, what I do all day. This is not how I make my money. This is not even, I mean, I do poetry. I mean, I could come out with poetry. I could go to poetry clubs and do that. I don't do monetize, so I don't. Yeah. Well, it's not. This is the thing, Mrs. P. This is the thing, Drone, and everybody else. I'm not caring so much about the monetization. My thing is to slap in the face to the creators or to the people that have said, you know what? I put out content. I'm gonna at least try to put myself in position. And they say, okay, well, it starts from zero, and they think it's okay. Like I said, before I go, if I go, however that's gonna transpire, I'll say my piece, and then I'm out. But it's sad, because you really wanna keep it going with the community and all that stuff. But it's like certain people said, I'm not gonna pretend like I don't want to make any money. I don't want to pretend like my content is not valuable. Now, is all my content great? No. But if I'm saying something that's entertaining, if I'm saying something that's artistic, see, here's where I come from. YouTube or other people will tell me that my content is not up to par. Thank you, appreciate it. Drone, I appreciate it. YouTube or whoever may say, your content's not up to par, or maybe you didn't reach the threshold, or whatever the case may be. The problem comes is this. I've seen too many big creators take ideas that I've put out there unawares to me and turn around and copy it and use that same content or material in their videos. I know creators, bigger creators right now, people who have 100,000 views, who've taken things from what I do, the idea, not the content, but the idea, and they use it and rename it, and they get paid. Now, you can do that, but don't tell me that my ideas are not good. Don't tell me that my content is not good enough, and then slap me in the face and then hit me back to zero. Like I said, and I know, Cargo, for me, I'm a man of principle. I'm a man about the principles. I will, believe me, Cargo, if I leave YouTube, if I leave, I'll keep in contact with those people who want to stay in contact with me. I'm not gonna just just be out. But it's a slap in the face. If YouTube does things that are bad for the community, I'm not going to continue just to stay a part of the community. And I'm somebody who actually pays for YouTube Red. I'm somebody who actually is on there like that. You know, nah, seriously, I won't just leave like that. I'll leave my contact information for people to find me. I would set something up before I go. I would set something up somewhere else. So whatever content and things that I upload, and the reason I say Facebook, because Facebook may be the closest thing to this. If they still commit on February 29th to push it back 0, I will start making negative YouTube videos. Nah, I don't encourage people to make negative YouTube videos. If they push back to 0 and they make people go back to 0, that would be one of the worst, biggest mistakes that they do. But I don't encourage people to bash YouTube. Don't bash YouTube. Don't make hateful YouTube videos. You want to affect YouTube for those smaller creators, for those people who create the bigger, who support the bigger creators. I would say just go to another platform. Start your own thing. You know, band together and do other things. The content creators without us wouldn't have the people wanting to. Yeah, no, definitely. That's the thing that boggles my mind about this situation, is that the bigger content creators and YouTube themselves is complaining about the smaller creators and people taking away from the pot and the money and whatnot, right? But these same small YouTubers, these same mid-level YouTubers are the ones who support the bigger creators. If there's anybody that watches, you know, these bigger creators and supports YouTube in a measurable way, in a big way, it's the smaller YouTubers. It's the people like you that are watching. You know, it's the folks that, you know, support each other. It is the crazy people that go to Green Bay Wacky's live stream and Lunatic Dad's live stream. It is those inspirational folks that go to Ben's live stream, Cap 7. You know, those are the people that support the community. The community itself are made up of a lot of small creators and people with accounts. So now you cut them off at the knees, and you say, you know what, you got to crawl and climb up the ladder and the rung. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not realizing. I personally don't think YouTube cares so much about the whole creator and, you know, YouTube platform as far as broadcasting yourself as they used to think. What I think YouTube is doing, personally, in my heart, and I've even seen it said, YouTube wants to be Netflix. YouTube wants to be Netflix. They want that model. They want that Hulu model. You know what I'm saying? They want that whole thing. It's a food chain. To mess with the food chain, bad things can happen. Exactly, Harry. YouTube wants to be Netflix. They want a subscriber base that comes to them. You know, maybe you could pay for YouTube Red. Maybe you could pay for, you know, YouTube TV. No way YouTube makes more money than Netflix. No, hear me out though, Drone Worship. The CEO, Susan, I forget her name, Susan. She was actually in an interview saying on CBS and other places that they want a model like Netflix. Now, what does that mean to me? When I hear the CEO of YouTube saying that they want to be more like Netflix, to me, that means that you're willing to say, okay, we're moving in a new direction. Because to be honest with you, it's more profitable for them. That's because they're trying to get rid of the content creators and get rid of this. Yeah. No, listen, if YouTube could go straight into YouTube TV and YouTube Red, pay subscriptions, and not have to deal with paying creators, then what, you know, that's what it is. Or if they have anything in the part of in their building, I would be uploading and watching here. Well, listen, it is what it is, Cargo. I mean, I don't think they mind people uploading and doing their thing as long as they're not paying out. I just think YouTube doesn't want to pay out 1.5 billion subscribers. Let's see. I mean, if we're talking about business right here, real business, I don't think YouTube wants to pay out 1.5 billion people. And imagine if YouTube had to pay out just $1,000 a month to 1.5 billion people. That's a lot of money. Now we're talking about in the billions. And then you're not even talking about the higher creators. And that's what I'm saying, there's only really 11% of the population that gets to rescue. Yeah, nah, exactly. And remember something. If we're going to talk real talk, brass tacks, YouTube doesn't pay a majority of the community, but still yet it profits. Because when they go to these advertisers, when they have these meetings, when they have these quarterly reports that comes out, you know, they're making money off of all this content that's not even, content creators that are not even getting paid. You know, and then they tell you, you know what, you don't have a chance to get monetized, you know, because you don't meet a certain threshold. but you already met the threshold last year. So you say I did the 10,000 views, and then you turn around and now you say, okay, well, 10,000 views ain't enough. So now you need 240,000 minutes. And then you turn around and you say, okay, possibly you're going to go back to zero. So what are you telling me? You're telling me that if you're going to reset my watch time and all the stuff that I have back to zero, that you're moving in a different direction. You can't tell me that you're not moving in a different direction. I don't want to hear it. I don't care how many damn interviews you do with Casey Neistat. You could do all the interviews with Casey Neistat. I don't care. You know, like I said, you can sit on there and tell me what you want. You could do press releases. Susan and the whole family could come out. You're not going to tell me that you care about the creators when you pushing YouTube TV, you pushing YouTube Red, you moving in a different direction. Yeah, you may care about the top creators, the people that have companies and stuff like that, but don't lie to me. That's the problem. If YouTube is doing away with smaller creators, if YouTube is going in a different direction, then just tell the truth. Tell the truth. YouTube ain't my life. If I can't make no money off of YouTube, I'm good. I'm good. I can go to a poetry club or something. I can go to another platform. I'm on 3 or 4 other platforms. But the problem is that YouTube won't tell the truth. And then sometimes as creators, you know, we sit there and we just suck it up and we go along with it. You know? I mean, it's annoying. It's annoying. You know, because at the end of the day, like I said, no offense to anybody that's making their money, good for you, kudos to you. But it's just like people put time and effort into it. And even for those folks out there say they're just doing it for fun. Remember, even those folks that's doing it for fun, YouTube is making money off of you just having fun. And that's not right. That's not right. That's not right, man. It's just not. That's why I said, so if I have to go, if they do that, then it is what it is. You know, and yeah, and then that's another thing, Harry. You know, you flag the videos and you get into all that, and it's just like, yeah, man. Let me get out of here, man. Let me get out of here. That, I guess, forgive me for that last part of it being a rant. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Thank you for watching.